Welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. My name is Mr. Arkrose, and this is a tabletop game review. The game that I'm going to be reviewing is called The Resistance. I picked it up at my local game shop. It cost about 20 bucks, and it did come with a additional rule on there that doesn't normally come with the game. It's 5 to 10 people, so you're looking about a medium to large type crowd or type party to play with. It's a very social game. It's based on deception because you're trying not to reveal who you really are on the roles. And there are two different type of roles. The first role that I'm going to go over is the resistance or the rebels. In the storyline, they're trying to overthrow the government. They're trying to complete missions that will get them closer to their cause. The easiest way to tell who's a rebel is by the blue background and the blue logo. They're trying to succeed missions, and in order for them to win, they have to have 3 successes. And I'll show you the game board here in just a moment. The spies or the traitors are right here. Easiest way to tell is going to be by the little red logo in the upper corner. They work for the government, and they're trying to stop the rebels from succeeding their missions. They're trying to sabotage them, and that's going to be one of the ways that they'll win. If they get 3 sabotages, then that's game over. Another way that the spies or the traitors can win is there's a vote in the game. Each round you pick a team and you vote on the team that you want to take. And if that fails 5 times in a row, then the spies and the traitors win. So that's going to be another way that they win, and that's only because there's less spies or traitors working together, or depending on which variation that you're doing, because the rule book here, it has different ways of playing. So if the spies are winning too much, there's ways that you can balance it out. The game starts with giving this icon. This is the team leader icon. They say to do it by random. Easiest way that I did it is I had 6 people, so I rolled a 6-sided die to determine who this marker goes to. This is the game board that this is going to be played on. As you can see on here, this is 6 people, and there are 2 spies, as you can see right there. So what that means is with each of these, it's pretty simple. You'll draw 6 cards, 2 the spies and 4 the rebels. You mix them together and you pass out the rolls. You do not share which role that you are. It's all based on trust and based on deception. The team leader will first need to pick a team. And to see which team it is, you look at the mission or the round. So like in this case, it's 2. So each round is always going to include the leader. So he gets to pick 1 additional person. The easiest way to tell who's going on the mission is going to be these gun tokens, just to know who's going on the mission and who's going to be needing the mission cards, which I'll explain that here in a little bit. So say, since we're needing another person, if I'm the team leader, I'm going to pick Bob over here. And at that point, it will go to a vote. Each person gets passed out one of these icons, of these little tokens. As you can see, you have one that says approve and one that says reject. So say everybody likes the vote, everybody votes in the team. At that point, each person will get one of these cards. This is the success card. That is a card that the rebels can only play because they're trying to complete missions. That's the only card that they can play. The traitors or the spies, on the other hand, they can play this card. As you can see, it's a fail card. If there's one fail card that's drawn in the mission, the entire mission fails, and the spies get that round. And if they get 3 of them, that's a way that they can win. So what will happen is each person will get one of those 2 cards. You pick an independent person to take the discard pile, shuffle it up just to make sure that you can't tell whose card was whose. And then you have another person that takes the play pile, shuffle them up, that way you can't determine whose card was whose. And then they'll reveal each of the cards. So like if with both of us, say we had 2 cards, you'd flip them over, success, failed. Well, since there's a failed, the spies would get that mission. And then at that point, the team leader token would go clockwise to the next person, and they can choose, like in this case, the second round would be 3, so he gets to pick 2 additional people to go with him to go on that mission, or if it gets voted down, in that case, the round would end immediately and go to the next person, but you'd still use that round spot. So, say Bob was to my left and he got the team leader token. He chose me and 2 other people, and the vote failed. The icon would just go to the next one. You would continue using this slot. If there are 3 successes on this board, the rebels win. If there's 3 sabotages, the spies win. And it got pretty fun playing this because you had spies saying that they were rebels, and just sometimes it got a little bit chaotic of who to trust on that, because playing 6 people, it definitely got hard to choose who you want to take with you. So it's definitely pretty fun and pretty social type game to play. I definitely liked it. One of the other things that they included in this pack is going to be this icon right here. This is known as the Inquisitor. At the start of the game, it goes to a random person, so easiest way that I did was dice. And they have an interesting role. After the mission succeeds, they have a choice of looking at somebody's card. So, say I'm the Inquisitor. I want to look at Bob's card. He has to hand me his card. That way I can see if he's a rebel or a spy. Immediately after I look at his card, I hand him the card and I hand him this token. So now he's the Inquisitor. The rules say that he cannot look at my card though, but he can look at anybody else's. So if he looks at Jim Bob's over here, he would get the icon, and he looks at mine, that is allowed. But Bob can't just look at my card. And then the rounds go on until we have 3 successes or 3 fails, or if there's 5 down votes in a row, then the spies would win at that point. And there's a little marker to determine that as well. And there's a spot on the board down here, which is what these are for right here. So the game took about 10-15 minutes depending on how fast that it went. There was an instance where spies won all 3 rounds and completed within about 5 minutes. So it's a fairly fast-paced type game depending on who's talking, or can be slow sometimes if you have people arguing against each other. I know whenever I got the team leader marker, I had to think about who I wanted to take with me. So yeah, all in all, it's a pretty fun game. I definitely give it 2 thumbs up. If you definitely like social type games, this is definitely a good one to pick up. Another game that I was going to review really fast is going to be... This is the Cards Against Humanity. With the Christmas gift that I got from one of my friends, he actually got me the bigger box, and it came with the box expansion, and also came with a hidden card and the lid, which, if you haven't seen that by now, you literally had to take a knife and open up the part of it because they put a hidden sheet there. And pretty much what will happen is you shuffle the cards up. Each person gets 10 cards, and whenever you play a card, you always keep up to your total of 10 cards. So if there's a pick 2 cards or pick 1 card, you draw that many cards back. That way you have always 10 cards in your hand. The black card is going to be a question card or some type of fill in the blank card. So in this one, they would be answering, call the law offices of Goldstein, because no one should have to tolerate blank in the workplace. And I will say this is a very adult-oriented game, so there may be stuff that kids may not, like smaller kids may not want to know about yet. So, like say someone put down this card, getting married, having a few kids, buying some stuff, and retiring to Florida and dying. That would be some like an answer that someone has a choice of playing. So each person puts or hands their card face down to the person that's considered the czar, the person that's reading the question, and they get to choose who or what card wins that round, which card they like the most. And then the next person would usually goes clockwise. They'll pull a black card and they'll read it, and they get to choose who the winner is for that one. Then it just goes around. You can't do point totals with it. You can't just do continuous one like my friends usually do, my friends and I. And we usually just have fun with it and laugh at the different choices that we come across. So it's definitely a pretty good social game as well. And also you get to see a little bit of the more interesting side to people that you normally don't get to see sometimes. So for that game, if you have a lot of adult friends that like to get together, that's definitely a good one to play as well. If you have any comments below, please feel free to put them there. If you have any suggestions, any questions, please feel free to fill out the comments and put it there, and I will answer them as well. If you like the page or like the channel, please click on the subscribe button down below, and I will look forward to meeting you again next time and adventuring with you on the games and on the different reviews I'm going to be doing. Y'all have a good one.